Good morning, students. I welcome you all to the new session for the subject English. I hope you are watching all the videos and writing worksheets solutions in your notebook. Students, as we all know that the school days are the best period of our life, right? Apart from getting education, we also learn a lot of things like sincerity, patience, friendship and discipline from school environment. So our today's lesson is based on a novel written by R.K. Narayan, that is Swami and Friends. So let's move on to Unit 5, Exploring Values. Dear students, in today's session, we will discuss about Swami and Friends. It is the first novel written by R.K. Narayan. It was written between First and Second World Wars. This novel has 18 chapters. The extract which we are going to study in this unit is from Swami and Friends. It is about 10 years old Swaminathan and his everyday adventures in fictional town of Malgudi. Here we see Swaminathan struggling with the mysteries of mathematics as his father tries to get him to study during the summer vacation. Students, first of all, I would like to introduce the writer of the novel Swami and Friends. Rasipuram Krishnaswamy Iyer Narayan Swamy, commonly known as R.K. Narayan, was an Indian writer known for his work set in the fictional South Indian town of Malgudi. He was the best known and widely read Indian novelist who wrote in English language. He was born on 10th October 1906 and died on 13th May 2001. Some of his famous novels are Guide, Bachelor of Arts, English Teacher, etc. R.K. Narayan won numerous awards during the course of his literary career. Students, before we start the lesson, let me introduce you to Swaminathan. Swaminathan is a school-going boy. He belongs to a middle-class South Indian family. He has a grandmother, a father, a mother, and a little brother in his family. His father works in courts. Rajam and Mani are his fast friends. Like all other boys of his age, he loves to be in the company of his friends. Swaminathan doesn't want to study during vacations because he thinks that the holidays or vacations are not meant for study. He is very innocent by nature because when his father gives him a very simple sum to solve, instead of doing calculation, he starts thinking about the nature of mangoes and mango sellers. He is very playful. Swami is a true representative of his age group. Like all other schoolboys, he is fond of playing with his friends. When his father wants him to study, he makes one or the other excuses. You can easily relate Swaminathan to your younger brother or sister. He is not an extraordinary character. Now, without wasting time, let's look into the story of the novel. The story portrays a day in life of Swami. Swaminathan sat in father's room in a chair with a slate in his hand and pencil ready. Father held the arithmetic book open and dictated, Rama has 10 mangoes with which he wants to earn 15 annas. Krishna wants only 4 mangoes. How much money will Krishna have to pay? Swaminathan gazed and gazed at this sum, and every time he read it, a new thought came to his mind. His mouth began to water at the thought of mangoes. So we can say that when Swaminathan's father had given him a sum about mangoes, Rama has 10 mangoes with which he wants to earn 15 annas. Krishna wants only 4 mangoes. Then how much money will Krishna have to pay? Swaminathan looked at the sum. He felt more clueless. When his father gave him the problem, he wondered what kind of man would Rama be. He compared Rama to his friend Shankar and Krishna to his friend Samuel. And every time he read it, a new thought came into his mind. His mouth began to water at the thought of mangoes. As we know that mangoes are very tasty. So we all have our mouth full of water whenever we see the tasty mangoes. Have you done the sum? Father asked, looking over the newspaper he was reading. Father, will you tell me if the mangoes were ripe? Father watched him for a while and, smothering a smile, remarked, do the sum first. I will tell you whether the fruits were ripe or not afterwards. So when Swami asked his father if the mangoes were ripe or not, his father refused to answer. Then Swaminathan felt utterly helpless. If only father could tell him whether Rama was trying to sell ripe fruits or unripe ones. Of what use would it be to tell him afterwards? He felt strongly that the answer to this question contained the key to the whole problem. It would be unfair to expect 15 annas for 10 unripe mangoes. So, Swaminathan felt completely helpless, as without knowing the quality of mangoes, he was not sure if the price was fair or not. He also was not ready to solve the problem. Father, I cannot do the sum, Swaminathan said, pushing away the slate. What is the matter with you? You can't solve a simple problem in simple proportions? We are not taught this kind of thing at school, Swami replied. Here, Swami gave up and returned the slate to his father without solving the sum. The father, not knowing about what was mattering Swami, got the slate and asked him to come near him. Father said, get the slate here. I will make you give the answer now. Swaminathan waited for a miracle to happen. Father studied the sum for a second and asked, what is the price of 10 mangoes? Here, thinking that his father could solve the sum miraculously, he went near his father. Looking at the sum, the father asked him the price of 10 mangoes. Then it was the time for Swaminathan to answer. Swaminathan replied, 15 annas. Of course. Swaminathan thought, but how could it be the price? Was it the right price? And then he was not sure whether the mangoes were ripe or not. If they were ripe, 15 annas shouldn't be an unfair price. If only he could get more light on this point. So students, here Swami was confused. Why an unripe fruit is costing this much? It should have some less cost. But 10 unripe mangoes are costing 15 annas is too high. So we can say that he was confused with the amount and the number of mangoes. So students, what do you think? Will Swami be able to solve the sum or not? We will read rest of the story in our next session. But wait, we are not going to end this video here. Today I am going to share some interesting facts about English language. Students, do you know that English literature has a deep and interesting history? From William Shakespeare, Charles Dickens to J.K. Rowling, the world has witnessed some great writers. But what are the most fascinating literary facts? Let's read them. The first novel ever written on a typewriter was Tom Sawyer. I am is the shortest complete sentence in the English language. There are only 4 words in the English language which end in DOUS. Tremendous, horrendous, stupendous, and hazardous. Dreamt is the only word in the English language to end with MT. No word in the English language rhymes with month, orange, silver, and purple. The only 15-letter word which can be spelled without repeating a letter is uncopyrightable. Swims upside down still looks like swims. The sentence, "The quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog," uses every letter in the alphabet. Silent and listen are spelt with the same letters. Okay students, this brings us to the end of this session. I hope you enjoyed it and learned from it. As always, happy learning. We'll meet you soon in another session. Till then, take care and have a great day.